If you don't believe you're sexy, if you don't believe you're worthy of the women, if you don't assume the positive, you don't assume the conversation is going to be fun, if you don't think it's going to be in your favor, if you don't think you're a high value guy, the girls will reject you. You're going to act a certain way that's creepy, weird, inauthentic, maybe talk to her like an object as opposed to a person and not be able to truly connect with her. You might be a little bit too outcome dependent. You might be monotone. You might not be expressing yourself, or you're supplicating. There could be one of dozens of different things that it could be. However, the ultimate core of all this is that you don't believe yourself. You don't think you're sexy. You don't think that you're worthy of these women you're talking to. You think they're on a pedestal above you and you're this lowly popper. And today I'm going to give you 12 different things that you can do to overcome this, to push through it, to start getting positive results to the opposite sex. Let's get into the video. Bitch, I'm in my bag. The first thing is proper mindsets. You need proper mindsets when it comes to going on approaching women. I'm going to give you a handful. The first one is how you gauge your progress. I call it the boulder and the rubber band. Imagine that you had a rubber band wrapped around your waist and you were pulling a boulder. Your job was to pull this boulder as far as possible. You may start running and running and running, and the rubber band is getting thinner and thinner and thinner, pulling harder and harder, adding more resistance, and you're dragging, you're running on all fours, and suddenly the resistance is too much. You fly back and you hit your head on the boulder. I say, fuck this, there's no way I can move this boulder. What you don't realize is, in the act of you running and pulling and fucking digging your heels in, you moved that boulder an inch. You slid it and moved. Now, a lot of people at this point, like looking at the boulder, might think that that this is impossible. There's no way you're going to improve. The thing is, you did improve. You did improve. The problem is, though, is that it's so minuscule and it's so small, you didn't notice it. The goal is that when you fall down, you hit your head on it, you pick yourself back up and run again. Your willpower can only pull for so long. Now, the boulder is your ego trying to keep you consistent with past action, trying to keep you the same person. Now, if you stay the same person, you're going to get the same results you've always had. But your ego wants to stay consistent with past action. It wants to keep you consistent. That's the point of an ego. And you're taking action that's inconsistent, that doesn't align with your personality, with who you are. You're shy. You're not somebody who goes and talks to girls. You're not somebody that is charismatic, that's this, that. So you keep pulling, and your willpower only has so much. And eventually your willpower gives out, and you fly back to square one, seemingly. Now, the goal is that every time you fall back, not to beat yourself up, to pick yourself back up again. If you need to, take maybe a couple of days off, take a break, chill out, relax, get your emotions down again, get relaxed, because relaxation is very key to attracting women. Then pick yourself back up again, start running, start going, keep pushing, keep picking yourself back up, keep hitting that boulder. Now, over the course of you doing this for 3 months, 6 months, you're going to make a lot of improvement, but you don't notice it if you're only looking at the small little moments. So look back about 3 to 6 months. If you haven't proven that time, now there's some other things we can do, which I'll get into later in this video. The goal is, if you fall off the horse, get back on. If one thing didn't work, try another. Keep getting back on the fucking horse. Just because one thing didn't work doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means that didn't work. Keep trying, keep pushing. Keep trying out different systems. Keep trying out different shit. I throw a lot of stuff out there with you guys to try out. If one thing doesn't work, I promise you there's fucking thousands of things you could try. Now, something that will help you alleviate the stress and the willpower fatigue that you're going to get from this is loving the process, loving the journey. If you love the journey more than the results you're trying to get, and you put the focus on the journey itself, on maybe building your charisma, on having fun, on relaxing when you go out, it'll make the journey of getting better a lot easier. You'll also burn less willpower. Stress burns willpower. If you look at this as work, it's going to be work. If you look at it as play and as fun, it's going to be play and fun, just like playing a video game. Most of you guys don't have a problem playing video games for 12 hours a day. What if this is a video game? What if this wasn't work? What if this is not something that you have to do, but something that you're blessed to do, something you get to do? Stop comparing yourself to other people. Compare yourself to you yesterday. Don't look at me. Don't look at Brad Pitt. Don't look at your friend who women love. Look at yourself. Look at yourself yesterday. If you're comparing yourself to other people, of course, you're going to get jealous. Of course, you're going to start beating yourself up. And again, beating yourself up isn't sexy to girls. Girls like guys that believe in themselves. You have to be your own best friend. Lastly on this point, borrow value from the future. If you're having an issue with having confidence in the moment when girls are rejecting you and being mean to you and being rude as fuck to you, in that case, borrow value from the future. You're a Bitcoin before Bitcoin blew up. If somebody who's investing in you now, in 5-10 years time, how lucky would they fucking be to have invested in you? Actually, one last thing that's going to help you guys out. Look at it as gambling. Some will, some won't, so what, move on. If you have to approach 20 girls to get one girl into you, to get one girl on a date, you still got one girl on a date. The other 19 are fucking irrelevant. It doesn't matter what those other 19 think because they're going to forget about you anyways. But that one girl is one girl closer to you believing in yourself. Some will, some won't, so what, move on. This is an idea that actually helped me out a lot in my early journey. Narrow your focus. Think about focus like a river. Now, if you break your focus up into multiple different streams, when it's this raging fucking river, eventually it's going to be a trickle. It's going to be a bunch of little trickles and puddles. Now, if you close down all those streams, you're going to have a raging river. So what are you putting energy into in your daily life? Is it stress? Is it negativity? Is it video games? Things that aren't moving forward in life? Cut it down on time. Stop playing video games so much. Stop beating yourself up. Focus on that which you do have control over, not that which you don't. Make a list of things that you're focusing on throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your months. I had to cut out writing for me when I first was figuring this out, because that was a lot of expenditure of my mental brain power. Reading books, like reading fantasy sci-fi books, but that wasn't serving me at the moment, so I started reading self-development. I was watching a lot of dumb YouTube videos, so I started watching self-development YouTube videos instead. I started listening to audibles. Number 3, change the goals of the game. Change the reward system. Right now, you're looking at the girls rejecting you, and you're making that the goal. You're making the women the direct goal. Women don't want to be your purpose. Women want you to have something that you're looking up to, something that's bigger than you, bigger than her. Let's change the focus. Put the focus somewhere else, where it's going to be more valuable for you, where you're not going to be putting it all on the girl, where like when the girl rejects you, it doesn't hit you so hard. You can make the focus your charisma. You're approaching to improve your social skills. You're maybe practicing every time you go out, you're practicing your ability to be extroverted. Maybe for you guys that are having a hard time approaching, that should be your first thing. See how many people you can approach in a day. Set a goal for maybe 10 to 15. Hey, make that the goal, not the getting the girls part. Make the amount of approaches you get. Maybe set to work on your eye contact. Notice girl's eye color every time you talk to her. Maybe you're working on deepening your voice. Maybe you're learning how to do that. Maybe you're working on pauses, on speaking in a slow, calibrated way that says that you believe in yourself. Maybe you are just approaching to socialize and possibly make friends. If you do talk to a girl and she likes you, hell yeah, take her on a date. But for the most part, you're just socializing. You're just being social. You're teaching yourself to be extroverted. The last one is actually one that I think will ultimately be the thing that you guys are focusing on when you guys get better at this, and that is having fun. You go out to have fun and socialize. You go out to be expansive and have fun with the expansion. You go out with your friends, your boys, your pickup crew, your clique, and you go out just because you guys want to fuck shit up. That's a fun goal too. It's not to like get a girl. It's like, oh dude, do you hear what I fucking said? That was fucking wild. That was fucking hilarious. I want you to be approaching so much, even in rejection, laughing till you cry. If you learn to have fun in rejection, rejection won't be that big a deal to you. And to be fair, you'll actually stop getting rejected. That which you resist persists. If you're resisting getting rejected, you will get rejected. Number 4, accrue wins outside a game. Now, you guys are trying to believe in yourself before you guys have anything to base it off of. Some of you guys do. And if that's the case, then you have to let the wins hit you. You have to feel the wins. Now, if you don't have shit going for you and you don't have any reason to believe in yourself, time to start getting reasons. Skills. Ask yourself, what skills, if I had them, I'd be tenfold more confident. If you guys can see this right here, these are actually skills I'm working on right now. Boxing, singing, dancing. I'm working on my acting, gratitude, rapping. I know. And I'm actually learning how to read lips. So if I'm in a club, loud scenario, loud situation, that even if I can't hear a girl or hear somebody, hear a client, I can read their lips. Something I'm working to improve. Maybe you need to make more money. Maybe you need a more beautiful lifestyle. What lifestyle that if you had would make you confident? What's your dream life? Start moving in that direction. Even though I'm saying this does not mean to pull away from being social and working on your charisma. Instead, I want you to focus on doing this outside a game in tandem with it. So when you go home, you don't have to practice that long. So I've been singing now for about 6 months. I don't practice that long. I practice for maybe about like 15 to 30 minutes a day. That's plenty of time for me to develop the skills to start building my ego in that direction. And now I really enjoy it. I love singing now. It's something that I really like practicing. Small actions lead to big actions. Take it a little bit, and eventually you're going to love doing it so much you won't burn willpower chasing it. The same thing with cold approach pickup. Number 5, surround yourself with killers. Develop a social circle of guys that goes out and approaches too. If you find guys that you can go alongside you and approach with you, you guys can have a combined frame where, like, if somebody gives you a weird look, you run back to your guys, high five and say, oh my God, you guys believe I fucking did that? You guys are pushing each other to keep doing it. You guys create a culture of approaching. They can also tell you when you're fucking up and how you're fucking up. Sometimes we create blind spots in ourselves and we don't know how we're perceived by other people. We're not aware of it. And honestly, being aware of your tone, the way you speak, if you're coming across nervous and how you come across nervous, it can be very helpful in terms of fixing the situation. If you don't know you have a sticking point, how are you going to fix it? Number 6, change the angle of attack. So you've been doing cold approach for a quick second and it's not working. Have you tried maybe saying different lines? Have you tried to maybe work on different aspects of game? Maybe try different people's techniques or different openers, mindsets, or ideas? Are you still doing the same game every day? Are you doing the same thing every day? because you're doing the same thing every day. You shouldn't be surprised that nothing has changed. There's also other ways outside of cold approach pickup to get girls. You can try Instagram. I've not tried it myself, but I've known some other dating coaches that use it pretty well. They will use texting to talk to girls. You can also try dating apps. You can try Social Circle. I've had a couple of times where I plateau and I hit it from a different angle. And then once I get success in that angle, then I burst through whatever plateau I had that was sort of some limiting belief that I had in cold approach that was holding me back. And then by chasing something different, it would break my ego. It would get rid of the self-lying. It would get rid of the self-limiting beliefs that were holding me back. And then I continue improving with cold approach pickup, with attracting the opposite sex and becoming more charismatic. Number 7, force hack it. Now, force hacking is an idea that I've come up with, and I do this oftentimes on boot camps with clients. And I'm a little bit timid to tell you guys about this because a lot of you guys are going to misinterpret this and possibly do it wrong. But I'll tell you guys, and if it doesn't work for you guys, don't understand it, let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to explain it. The first one is machine gun approaching. I actually learned this from Max Toronto when I worked for RSD, and I remember he had a client do this and it worked incredibly. And ever since then, I used to every Thursday do this for myself to force myself into a good headspace or into a very flow headspace. So if you're playing basketball and I throw you a basketball and you catch it and you think about it, then you shoot it, as opposed to catch, shoot, release. Which one are you more likely to make? The one where you thought about it or the one where you just shot it? The one where you just shot it. Everybody knows this. When you overthink it, what happens? You're not just doing what feels natural, and you'll end up missing. So there's this thing behind this where you get into a flow state or into no mind, and it's hard to get into when you do game, because I see a lot of you guys will, like, maybe when you approach a girl, you'll hook instead of just making a beeline direction, like approach towards the girl because you're nervous, or you'll stand there and stare at the girl for a while before approaching. As you get better and you get more relaxed and this shit's not such a big deal, you don't have to really, you can hesitate and take your time more. But for those of you guys who are very nervous, this is the worst thing you'll possibly do. So something I'll do to kind of shock the system, there's so many reasons why this works. I'll make them rapid fire approach people. Guys, girls, couples, everybody. Anybody with a face and over the age of 18, you approach them and give them a compliment. It could be a compliment, and if you're enjoying the conversation, stick it out, keep talking to them. Now, when you're in a conversation, even though you have 10 seconds to approach, you want to be still pausing, speaking slow, having good tonality and body language. Because I know that when you have 10 seconds to approach and you're counting it down, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, you might be overthinking it, or you might, when you jump in this interaction, you want to talk fast because you're trying to rush to get into an interaction. Don't talk fast. It's going to make them think you're on crack. And again, if you're enjoying a conversation, stick it out. But if you're not liking somebody's conversation, you don't like interacting with them, the second you're not enjoying it, leave. Now, by catching and shooting and releasing, you'll actually find that you will stop overthinking it. And eventually your brain almost gets this sense of abundance. When you approach a lot of people and it's fast, back to back to back, you will get a sense of abundance without having abundance. Because if this person is like you, that person is like you, then you just go talk to somebody else. Now, next thing is visualization and affirmations. Visualize the guy that is good with girls. Now, the thing that's stopping you from having good interactions with girls is the fact that you, 1, care about the outcome, and that you don't believe in yourself and you're not assuming the positive. And girls pick that up. And there's so many ways that you put this out there. By visualizing and priming yourself to think a certain way, you might not even have the mental model of what that guy even acts like. You don't know what it's like to be charismatic with a girl or to believe in yourself or think you're sexy. So visualize it. Something I do is extreme self-gratitude. It's on the wall right here on my whiteboard. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's extreme self-gratitude. I tell myself what a badass I am every day. You guys don't let that shit hit. You guys are trying to be too humble. Believe in yourself. Believe you're sexy. By doing affirmations, by visualizing situations where I'm not thinking properly in interactions, it helps teach my brain to think in the way that I should be properly thinking. Number 8, quality of effort. Now, again, there's sticking points and there's bottlenecks. You want to be writing field reports to identify the situations, the reasons that you're not doing good with the opposite sex. Sometimes girls say, I can't hear you, or you're talking too fast, or you come across creepy or weird. This is all feedback. And if you're writing down notes every day, you're going to start seeing patterns of things you're doing. And when you recognize the patterns, break the patterns. These are sticking points and bottlenecks. Maybe you're not approaching enough. Maybe you talk too fast. Maybe you're needy. And you want to come to creative solutions to the problems. Honestly, I answer a lot of these things on my channel. If you guys want to check them out, I probably already have the exercise complete and figured out. You just have to scroll through my 500 plus videos on this channel. Number 9, game never turns off. This is not something you stop doing. This is not something you only do 2 days out of the week. This is something you do 7 days a week. So maybe you decide that you want to work on eye contact. Work on eye contact every day with everybody. Maybe it's your tone. You work on tone all the time. Maybe it's being extroverted every day. Maybe you give a person a compliment a day to teach your brain, I am extroverted. Game is not something you turn off. Game is something you are. And the more you teach your ego, this is something that is effortless and something that is aligned with your ego. The action feeds ego. Ego feeds action. So you take the actions of a guy that is extroverted and sexy, you're going to eventually become that guy. You keep ripping the cord to a lawnmower, and eventually the motor turns over and it just goes. You don't have to keep ripping it. You've been spending 20 years the same person, and now in 2 days out of the week, you're going to change something you've been doing your entire life. It's not going to happen. Your ego is very set. You have to consistently do it every day and identify one thing that's going to get you the furthest with the least amount of effort, or a bottleneck. If it's a bottleneck, that's a little more important because bottlenecks are going to hold you back. Another thing you can do is change locations. We have cues to habits, and cues are attached to places and situations. You wake up in the morning, maybe you immediately take a piss or you pull out your phone and you look through your phone. If you change the cues, you go somewhere else, now you can build new habits in their place. And when you build new habits in their place, it allows you to change. Maybe in that place, maybe you live somewhere where everybody expects you to be somebody. That's pretty tough because you're going to get a little bit of backlash when people expect you to be somebody. Now, my thing is, if you're stuck in your spot, that's not an excuse. Act like the person, and if anybody doesn't like it, they can fuck off. But if you have the choice to move, I 100% suggest it. Move to a different city. Another thing you can do too is if you have a bad predilection about a certain location, like you have a lot of bad situations in place and you're apprehensive to go there every night, go somewhere else. Go somewhere where you can create a new energy to, somewhere where you don't have that negative emotion imprinted over it, and you switch it up. If you have a positive impression of some place, start going there more, even if it's technically not as good a place. The fact you believe it's a good place will make it a good place because now you're assuming the positive. You're getting excited before you go out, which also will lead to you getting into state or flow in conversations. Number 11 is SMV. Now, this seems kind of weird because I always preach that looks are not that big a deal. They're not. They're super fucking minor. To be fair, I call it logical emotional attraction. I made too many videos about this to count, so I'm not going to get into it here. But it's not really for the fact that the looks are that big a deal. It's like, if you're not moving and speaking like a sexy guy, if you don't believe in yourself yet, the only thing you have to fall back on is SMV. The only thing you have to fall back on is the logical side. It's like you fit an archetype of a guy that a girl assumes is going to be cool. So if you don't have the charisma down, the confidence, look like the guy has the charisma and the confidence down. Now, there's a lot of reasons why this helps out. One, it facilitates an ego change. We talked about that a lot in this video. Ego is meant to keep you in place. And if you look different, you're going to feel different. It's the same way if I shave your head right now, I shave a bald spot on your head, you probably start crying. Like you'd probably be a grown man crying, sobbing. You'd probably be shaking. You'd probably be too afraid to go out the house. The reason is because your ego was attached to your hair. Your ego is attached to your outfit. By doing that, it loosens and relaxes your ego, makes you more flexible so you can change. Every time, so I painted all my nails this time, I had only one painted for a while. It's because it helps me, makes my personality more flexible. I'm constantly changing my style and fashion because I know it helps facilitate a change, an ego change. It helps loosen up and relax it. Helps make it more flexible. And the last point to this is if you believe you're sexy, you'll become sexy because you won't worry about the words so much. You won't be overthinking. You'll be assuming the positive and girls will start liking you. You'll more naturally use the tone and body language I've been trying to teach you guys on this channel for the past 6 years naturally. If you just believe in yourself, you believe you're fucking sexy, you would just start doing it. There would be some habits in play. They'll keep you in place. There's some famous people like Russell Brand has a very high-pitched voice. That's a habit. He believes he's sexy, but his high-pitched voice is actually extension of the fact that he wasn't always good with girls. So what you do is you neuter yourself by speaking in a higher voice. Guys that believe in themselves, they generally speak a lot lower. If you wake up in the morning, you have a deeper voice, it's because your vocal cords are loosened up. But that's besides the point. The point I'm trying to get at is that if you believe you're sexy, you will become sexy. It's almost like a frame battle of sorts. If you talk to a girl and you believe inherently you're sexy and valuable to women, the women will believe it too. You'll have a certain swagger to you. Number 12, just fucking get coaching, guys. Man, a lot of you guys try to watch this channel and you guys knew this shit for years.
If you're somebody who has been doing this for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and you've been in the same place the entire time, please, for the love of God, get a coach. I don't care if it's me or somebody else. I don't care if it's in a different field. Whatever you have to do to change this outcome that you have been doing. You've been literally trying this out for a long time. You're doing something very clearly wrong. I was one of the lucky few that had really good progress to begin with, but then I had a long plateau. I had multiple times where I had to come to really creative solutions. And to be fair, I was very obsessed in this field. I was very much about this shit. I wasn't really thinking about too much else. So I got lucky. I did get coaching too, and I did get around a lot of other coaches that helped me out and kind of fill in the gaps. However, if you're somebody who is not getting any improvements whatsoever, please, 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 for the love of God, please get a coach. All right, guys, if you guys have any questions, leave in the comment section below. With that being said, peace.
Yeah, bitch, I'm in my bag. Yeah, bag, bitch, I just made a bag. Yeah, bag, bitch, I just made a bag. Yeah.